OpenAI now also supports MCP protocol. Right now, at the moment of recording this video, the support is available for Agents SDK. However, the support for API and ChatGPT interface they also promise, so we will see that very soon apparently. However, let's start with Agents SDK. Let's try it out and see how it works. So this is just an intro page with some basics code snippets. However, bigger set of examples, or just like 3 of them, are available in the repository of OpenAI Agents Python. And here in the examples folder, you will find different examples, including now MCP, which was published 15 hours ago. So if you go to MCP, we see Filesystem, Git example, and SSE. We are going to try them out. I actually cloned already the repository for my local setup so that I can run it from here. And first one which we are going to look into is file system example. So this is where we are working with our file system through an MCP. Actually, here you can see that what we have is a sample file. So this is a folder which we are going to have access to and get information about favorite books, favorite cities, favorite songs. The MCP server which we are going to use is official MCP server, which you can find more information on. If you go to the model context protocol collection of MCPs, it's there. So here we have a note that this server will only do operations within the directory which we specify. So we are going to specify this sample files directory so that we are not going to provide the access for the large language model to all content on my machine, but only to this folder. And here you can see what kind of tools we have and what exactly we can do. So yes, in the code, before we run the script, let's just briefly look into the code, what is happening here. So the code itself is pretty short. So we have the run function and we have the main function, and then the main function is being executed. So if you look at the main function, then here we can see that we, of course, first define that samples directory, and then we are working with MCP Server Studio. Sorry, not Studio, STDO, STDIO. Oh my God, that's so complex to pronounce. So this is the implementation of MCP Server that uses how do I pronounce it? You got it. So this is the standard input-output transport. And this is more or less for those like integrations where you are having your MCP locally. That's probably majority of MCPs which I tried. In contrast, we are going to see SSE later, but let's start with this one. This is kind of like where we are using the same machine to run, and we are using actually here NPX to execute that server. And again, here we are providing the link to the package where we are taking the server, and then we are running that locally on the machine. I do have actually everything for JavaScript here installed, so I am not sure if you are going to run, you probably not only need Python, but also all the NPX and Node.js stuff installed. So yeah. Then we are getting the server, and we are getting also this trace ID, which is super cool because by trace ID, and here they put a very helpful link, we will see that later. We are going to see what is happening on OpenAI side, how it detects the tools and how it processes information. So yeah, and then we are running the server. So we are executing the run function, which is here, and we are providing the MCP server there. And in this run function, we are creating a single agent. We are providing some instructions to that agent, and also we are giving a list of MCP servers. And this is the MCP server which we created over here through this MCP server STDO. And we are giving it here, and then we are providing it in the list. And after that, we are asking the agent to read the files, to tell what is our favorite book, and to look at the favorite songs and so on. So let's try it out and see how it works. They use this UV thingy. This is just project management tool. So let's actually, I don't need, I'm already in examples folder, and I will run the main py, and let's see how it works. And of course, if you run this example, you need to provide OpenAI API key for executing all of this. I just export OpenAI key and then say what is my key. So let's see, what is my #1 favorite book? Oh, it's interesting. Look at this. So, okay, I couldn't find a file related to favorite books in the allowed directories. If you have a specific file where this information might be stored, please let me know. So it failed with this one, but look at my favorite songs. Just one song that I might like. You might enjoy Hotel California. Let's see if this is in the list. Oh, it's interesting. It's not really in the list. Let's try it out one more time. Or maybe, I don't know, because it might actually take those and suggest a new song. So let's run it again. Interesting. Let's change this and ask, instead of suggesting, I want to see if it has access, favorite song, if it can actually have access to the favorite song. And here, instead of book, let's actually put city, because it does have access to the list of files. Let's try it out. Okay, let's change a bit what we are asking there, because I'm not sure what is exactly wrong. If I'm looking at the trace information, so this one, so let me try again. So this is our trace information. And here we can see what Assistant is doing. So it will list the MCP tools which are available. And here we can read the files, we can read multiple files, we can write, we can edit, we can do whatever we want. List allowed directories, this is how we figure out what we have access to, and so on. Then what is happening over here? So here we are asking, and this is what we ask in the request, to read the files and list them. So the function which was called is list allowed directories. It shows no output, not sure why is dead, but let's look at this function call. And here we are getting some output. And output allowed directories, and then we are getting that folder with sample files. Okay, so that worked. Ooh, look at this. So when we asked for the favorite city, search files, and then it tried to execute search files, and it was looking for a path with a city, and obviously didn't really find the cities because we didn't really provide to that path, we only provided to the folder. There is something actually not really working here as well. Then we have another search files. Same with city. Let's change the query and try something else. So let's try that and run the example again. So now I asked, what is my #1 favorite city from the file? So I mentioned the file which I am interested in. So let's see if it will figure it out as well. So the traces, is it a different link? Favorite cities. Oh, yeah, sorry. My spelling was wrong. So it's favorite without you. Trying again. Oh, look at this. For the summer. File is London. If we specify the file name itself, it starts working. Let's do the same with the books. What is my number one favorite book? From the file, favorite books. And okay, that worked. So if we give it a bit more organized request with information where to find that data about books or cities, it works. Good. So not exactly what I expected. I expected it would be a bit smarter. This is where we are getting the file names, which we have, and output is this one. And then we do the search file. So then we are searching for the favorite books here, and the path is provided. So this is now correct. And then we are doing the read file, and then we can read that file. So this is how it figured out. But these search files, I think the logic there is not exactly working that well, because it couldn't really figure out when we were talking about the cities that the logical file would be to look into favorite cities place. So yeah, so this is the file system example. Let's go and look at the SSE example. SSE is a different type of MCP servers. So this is type of the server where it actually is capable of pushing updates to the client through HTTP protocol. So I have a documentation over here on the transport. This is for the model context protocol website, and here we can see there are two standard transport implementations. The input-output, which we tried with the file system, where we were running everything locally, or technically it was just like that npx implementation. And then the second one is server send event. So this is SSE. I actually never used it in the past. I usually use WebSockets, but in WebSockets you have the client and the server, which can exchange information and can send data to each other. And with SSE, only the server side can connect to the client and then continuously send their data over HTTP. So it's one-sided connection. So this is the approach which we see in the second example. So here in the code, you can see the server itself, and you can see the main Python script. So let's again look at the implementation first before we try it out. So here we are creating the MCP server SSE using this constructor. We are providing the URL to that server, and here we have the address. So here is a local host and we are going to run it. However, normally you would have that server somewhere remotely. And then we again can use a trace, which we are going to do. When we run this function, what we are doing, we actually creating a new sub-process, and we are just starting that sub-process. So this is just a Python magic, I guess, to work with those sub-processes and creating those SSE. Once you have that, you can run again an agent, the assistant, which has access to MCP servers. Here we also have this model setting, which we didn't see in the file. We didn't see this in the file system example, right? So over here, yeah, we didn't. So we are having that it's model settings tool choice required. Not exactly what it means. Anyway, and then we ask the agent to do certain operations. And we see here that we need to add numbers, get weather, get secret word. And if we go to the server, which we are going to run, we see that actually it has a number of tools. So we have here MCP tools defined to add numbers, to get the secret word, to get the current weather. So that's what we're going to run. So let's let's do it. So we have we only start the, yes, we only start the main function. And then in the main function, we initiate the server. So we got the trace again. Let's go there and check what we have. So we are listing the MCP tools. We got add, get secret word, and get current weather. All great. Then we are using the add one, and we are getting the response. Over here, it is 29. Then we are again listing the MCP tools, checking that we have the current weather for Tokyo and getting some weather response. And the same for the secret word and getting the response with a cherry. So that worked. And we can see also the output and the LLM made a friendly interpretation of the response from the weather API. So yes, for the last example, we have also one more example with the GitHub. This is where I actually didn't manage to run it. I constantly get, let me show you what issue I get. So if I will exit, no, we'll go to the Git example. And here I will run it. Do I have to run somehow? I think I run it the same way. So here we need to have a path to the Git repository. I tried different repositories, those which are MCP, which are not MCP. So I'm not sure exactly what is expected. Let me just, because the error is the same. I will give this one. And then I'm getting the error MCP server Git no such command. So maybe there should be some specific GitHub repository which supports that. But whatever I tried and however I tried to fix it, it didn't really work. If you know what is the issue and what exactly silly stuff I'm doing and not noticing, please put it in the comments below. But this is MCP with OpenAI agent SDK. Very nice. I think there is something with this file system example is off, and I would expect it to be a bit smarter, but I'm not sure if it's exactly OpenAI issue or maybe MCP server itself is not smart enough. Also, let me know what you are thinking and what kind of examples you have tried and what worked for you and what didn't.